The case of Bonnie Haim is a tragic and deeply unsettling story that spans more than 2 decades. It is a story about a young mother who vanished from her Jacksonville, Florida home in 1993, and a murder case that remained unsolved until her remains were discovered 21 years later. What makes Bonnie's story even more heartbreaking is that from the very beginning, there were strong suspicions about who was responsible, but justice was delayed for years. Bonnie Lynn Haim was just 23 years old when she disappeared on January 6, 1993. She was married to Michael Haim, and the couple had a 3-year-old son named Aaron. To outsiders, they seemed like a typical young family. However, those closest to Bonnie knew that her marriage was troubled. Friends and co-workers later testified that she had expressed fears for her safety and had plans to leave Michael. She had even begun to make arrangements to secure her own bank account and move into her own place with Aaron. On the night of her disappearance, Michael Haim told police that Bonnie had left the house after an argument and never returned. Her car was found abandoned near the Jacksonville airport, and her purse was discovered inside, a detail that struck investigators as suspicious. Most alarmingly, Bonnie never picked up her last paycheck from her job, nor did she attempt to contact her family or friends. For someone who had been actively making plans to start a new life, this sudden silence was chilling. Suspicion immediately fell on Michael Haim. Police and prosecutors believed he had motive, opportunity, and a history of controlling behavior. Yet, despite these suspicions, a lack of physical evidence meant that no charges were filed. For years, Bonnie's case remained classified as a missing persons investigation. But there was one witness whose account would later become central to solving the mystery: Bonnie and Michael's son, Aaron. At just 3 years old, Aaron reportedly told a child welfare worker that "Daddy hurt Mommy." However, because of his age, his statement was not used as direct evidence at the time. As years went by, Michael Haim maintained his innocence, even gaining custody of Aaron. Bonnie's family never gave up hope that the truth would one day come to light, and Aaron's memory of that night stayed with him as he grew older. In 2005, as an adult, Aaron sued his father for wrongful death in civil court. During that process, Michael Haim was ordered to vacate the family home. In a shocking twist, it was during renovations at that same house in 2014 that a discovery changed everything. Workers found skeletal remains buried beneath a concrete slab in the backyard. DNA testing confirmed the remains were Bonnie's. Forensic evidence indicated she had died from a gunshot wound to the head. This discovery breathed new life into the investigation. With physical evidence now available, Michael Haim was arrested and charged with second-degree murder in 2015. His trial took place in 2019, and Aaron, now in his late 20s, testified against him. His recollection of that night, combined with the newly uncovered evidence, painted a harrowing picture of domestic abuse and cover-up. The prosecution argued that Michael Haim had murdered Bonnie to prevent her from leaving him and taking Aaron with her. The defense maintained that there was no definitive proof Michael had pulled the trigger. But after years of suspicion, the jury found him guilty. He was sentenced to life in prison.